Welcome to the big issue here on TV3Newday. Happy birthday to Nana Ado Newman, Edmond Nana Ado Newman, Blazy B, my very good friend from childhood. Happy birthday to you. Live long. Also to Charles Annan of Customs at the Kotka International Airport. This is from all of us here at TV3 to you. Happy birthday, our brother. And if you're celebrating your birthday as well, happy birthday to you. A belated one to Ni Okai Robertson of Vodafone Ghana. Belated one to you. Happy birthday, and keep basking in the glory of the good Lord. Thank you very much to Grant Power Clothing at Dan Suman for my outfit. 020-985-5696. That's 020-985-5696. Get something special. I told you Grandpa was everything, and what I wore on Saturday for the Ghana Business Awards is a testament of the fact that he sows everything so from him. The Daily Guide this morning reports that 117 get fish ponds from Bui Power Authority. Also arrest them. Otumfuo charges police. Nana in Scotland for climate change summit, and police chase Madina MP to church. NDC accepted election 2020 results. That's on the front page of the Daily Guide. The Daily Graphic, quite heavy this morning. NPRA raises alarm bells. Only 6% informal sector workers on pension scheme. Government invests $1 billion in TVET institutions, commits to more funding. And the Graphic Stanbic Business breakfast meeting. Experts to discuss pre-2022 budget tomorrow. And 26th Climate Summit. President off to Glasgow. The Republic Press and lead NDC into 2024. If you are interested, Anidoho encourages Dr. Dufour. West Hills Mall manager contractor arrested for blocking China Mall entrance with rocks. Also, passenger nabbed for possessing narcotics and substance. Madina MP escapes arrest again. I saw Muntakat yesterday there in a video with him. NDC is good at propaganda. We have facts and data, according to Dr. Baumia. Sounds like the president when he went on our Accra radio station to do an exclusive. Majority minority MP support anti-gay bill, OPK. The Finder newspaper, 8 die from suspected yellow fever outbreak in Savannah region, according to the Ghana Health Service. 4-member committee to investigate attacks on Suame Police Station. Health Services Workers Union calls off strike action. And ACA deal is key to GMPC's 15-year ambition to become stand-alone operator by 2023. Investors flee T-bills due to drop in interest rates and opt for bond market. The Daily Statesman, NPP wants police to investigate Mahama over ballot stuffing claims. Richard Nyama, there is a special assistant to the NPP chairman, Mr. Freddie Blade. Also, Christianity becoming a nuisance. Trinity Theological Seminary president condemns errant prophets. Senate assures explosion won't affect its operations. And president attends COP 2026 summit in Glasgow. The Ghanaian Times. President leads Ghana's delegation to UN COP26 in Scotland. Also, Jospon Group tops Ghana Business Awards, and congratulations to Media General and to CEO Beatrice Ajiman as well for winning some laurels there. I will support fight against illegal sale of Pong Katamanso lands, according to MP Justete. Health alerts, strain disease outbreak in Savannah region, 8 people died. The BNFT is our final one for this morning. It says, NP moves to protect private investment in Apollonia. Their roads are terrible, by the way. And 2022 national budget must address debt sustainability report. Focus on agric manufacturing to deliver jobs. Professor Quote of ESEB. And banks upbeat. Bank of Ghana's ECD will lower transaction costs. That's Price Waterhouse Coopers, a survey there. What's on the back page? Kumauman Rural Bank records 81% growth in profit. That is what we have there. And the man whose photo I just showed you on the front page of the Daily Statement is here. Mr. Richard Nyama is a member of the National Communications team. He's a Deputy Director of Communications for the NPP and also a special aide to Mr. Freddie Blay. Richard, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Great.
It's been a long time I saw my brother. It's been ages.
And then
he's shopping alone.
Comrade Murtala Mohammed is the Member of Parliament for the Tamale Central constituency. He likes to be called Comrade, not Honorable. How are you doing?
I'm okay, alhamdulillah.
Are you still in a small challenge?
Well,
I thought we finished the Damba.
I indicate, oh yeah, we have, but of course the effects of Damba is still with us, and the resolutions that we had as a result of that is still resonating, and it is my hope that we achieve the objective set by His Royal Highness the Yanna.
Right.
Mind you, the Northern Development Fund, which was instituted, was launched. The Damba was used as an opportunity to do that. Unfortunately, I didn't see my brother in the Damba. I was expectant of his presence. Unfortunately, he didn't come for whatever reason. He may explain why he didn't participate in the Damba, which was widely participated by many people, including some of his colleagues within the MPP.
I hear you.
So why?
Richard?
Oh, you are taking the place of the host now.
No, these are family matters. I don't want to be caught in the
We'll
crossfire.
deal with that.
These are family
We'll deal
matters.
with that at home.
I don't want to be caught in the crossfire.
Yes.
But let's begin, Mutala, because you're here from Parliament. Francis Sosu, the police, and what do you call it? The speaker in the mix, and all of this back and forth. What's the end game?
Well, let me say good morning to you. Good morning to my brother, who is chopping alone without looking back to see whether his brothers are surviving. And good morning to your cherished viewers, and most importantly, the good people of Tamale Central. And Johnny, if you permit me, just 30 seconds, just to inform the young men and women who I have organized free extra classes for, who will be writing the BC.
Right.
We have been having these classes for almost 5 months now.
Okay.
And the reasons why I had to do that was the fact that the second year students who were at home because of COVID, when they resumed, when COVID, eased, and they were asked to come back to school, they were moved from Form 2 to Form 3. And these are people who are going to be writing the same exams, and questions certainly would come from the Form 2 syllabuses. So I had to organize the free classes for them. We are ending the classes this week.
Okay.
And
because the exam is next week.
Yes, next week. And I made a pledge that I'm going to provide every single student, that is over 1,200 students in all the 4 centers in Tamale Central, mathematical set, and TNT and feeding for the 5 days they are going to be engaged in the exams. Every single student who is participating in this, just to inform them. And if my brother wouldn't mind to assist financially, I would really be willing.
God bless you.
Because they haven't released our common fund
God
yet.
bless
so
you. I remember in 2012, some of us had aided the Honorable Ahmed Arthur. He's no longer in Parliament, to teach in Okaikwe South. And that year, and the year after, the BEC results were very, very good. So me, Dr. David Mingle, a couple of us.
Because a lot of them, particularly in the part of the country,
community service.
In the part of the country where, if you look at the opportunities available, down south, people have access to attend classes. Some can pay as much as 2,000 Ghana cedis a month for their awards to be taught. Right. But in this case, a lot of them don't have. I get it. So that's what I intend.
Let me pick the perspective of Lawyer Justice Abdullahi of the Crown Legal Bureau. He's also a lecturer at the UPSA Law Council. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Johnny. Indeed, good morning to Assalamu alaikum to Mutala, my good brother. And as for my brother, I know we have our own issues we will deal with later.
I see.
So, like you said,
it's a family meeting.
But I wouldn't want you to be caught in the crossfire.
So
I hear you. I hear you. So you people have to make me a Dagomba too, so that I know that I'm complete. But counsel, what's your initial thoughts about the back and forth with the police, Lawyer Sosu, MP for Medina, the Speaker of Parliament, the question about absolute privilege, qualified privilege, and all of that? What's your initial thoughts from a legal perspective?
Johnny, I honestly think that our Speaker is becoming too much of an activist in our political dispensations, particularly in regards to our current split power sharing within this Fourth Republican Constitution. I remember at the initial life of this governor, I had mentioned that we're going to have an interesting time. So although my prophecy on fear and panic is probably coming true, considering the fact that the speaker is seen actively, unlike his predecessors, to be in the governance space more than we are used to. And I think that's really interesting. I don't want to predict how this would span going forward. We still have about 2.5 years more ahead of us.
Right.
And I think if things are not guarded well, this could be something that we may probably not envisage, considering how the speaker is really actively participating within the governance space, unlike focusing on his main job as a speaker. But having said that, we should also recognize that nothing bars the speaker from doing exactly what he's doing, or even doing more. There's no legal limitations on him, except that the culture that we are used to by all the speakers, from BFNN all the way to Sechi Hughes, and then to Duajaho, and now himself. Of course, that is not to say that those that I didn't mention were not part of the speakers. But if you consider, and indeed if you consider right from the first ever speaker we had in this country, I think as far back as 1940, thereabouts, of 7, none of the speakers has had to be so visible in the governance space, particularly in the day-to-day administrations of the country, as we've had with this particular Speaker of Parliament. And I don't know whether it is too worrying or at this moment, but I think we should clearly be quite careful. We don't have any clash between the Speaker and the other arms of
Council, do you get a sense, because you mentioned DFNN, you mentioned Alajete, Bamford Ado, and then Sechi Hughes, and then Dua Jaho, and now Bagbin. Do you get a sense that because Speaker Bagbin comes to the table as one who has been in our parliament since the Fourth Republic began, he has also had a chance to be both majority minority leader at different stages, and also has served in government as a Minister of State. Do you get a sense that that could be informing the way he is interested in the day-to-day running of the affairs of the state?
Johnny, there's absolutely no dispute about that, considering he has seen it all. He's been at almost every single space of our governance structure, perhaps except the presidency, being a president or a vice president. So everything that needs to be seen has been seen. He has all the wealth of experience. He has his anger built up by the rot in our system, and he knows how to fix it. And he has possibly attempted maybe getting into the helm of affairs in order for him to make his impact. And like you said, this is the closest he has come to being the third gentleman of the land. And so he would definitely like to assert his authority in the way that he could, even where clearly it's obvious that he does not have that authority.
Right.
And I think that is where it is a bit worrying.
I hear you. Thank you very much, Lawyer Justice Abdullahi, for speaking to us. A law lecturer at the UPSA, is also a private legal practitioner with the Crown Legal Bureau, and his brothers to my senior brothers in studio. So then I asked you, from where you sit in Parliament as a member of Parliament, one of your own is literally being chased around by the police for what the police says is a commission of crime, disruption of public peace, and destruction of state property in his quest to lead his constituents to advocate for bad roads to be fixed. But the police says he crossed the line. What do you say?
Well, I think that what we are witnessing today is an attempt by a police IGP who has been widely praised by many because of some of the things he started. And I sat on this same program and commended him for his bravery and some of the things he engages in. And we were all of high expectance that he would continue with some of the things that he started. Then notwithstanding, what he attempted to do was to showcase to people that I can arrest a member of parliament. And nothing more, nothing less.
Nobody's above the law.
Well, when we say nobody's above the law, but everybody must operate within the ambit of the law. Even the IGP himself and the police, they are not above the law. That you have a member of parliament who participated in a demonstration, the demonstration which is given to all of us under Article 21, Clause 1D, that you can engage in demonstration as a means of, you know, channeling your grievances or making your voices heard, and you do so mindful of the Public Order Act. The Public Order Act has not and will not say that you seek permission from the police, but you notify the police, which they did. They engaged in the demonstration. Unfortunately, some members who participated in the demonstration engaged in something that was not within what they envisaged as those who organized the demonstration. Mind you, the member of parliament was only a participant in that demonstration, but for the intervention of the member of parliament, the roadblocks could have been there longer. When his attention was drawn to the fact that some of the youth were engaged in an act that was never envisaged by them, he had to intervene, and the roadblocks were taken off. So, but for his intervention, you know, something untoward could have happened. Now, this thing happened. Let me also state, having participated in a demonstration organized by his constituents is engaging in parliamentary work. That's one thing I have listened to a lot of people who have given
demonstrate that.
Yes, who have given. Why? If I sit here, I represent the good people of Tamale Central. The roads of Tamale Central are so deplorable. We still have a lot of roads, certain areas that do not have roads, sadly, that the people in Tamale Central, or youth in Tamale Central, decides to embark on a demonstration. And I think that, yes, it would be good to embark in that demonstration as long as the demonstration, you know, falls within the ambit of law. And I participated in that demonstration. I traveled to Tamale to participate in that demonstration. I am participating in an activity that is supposed to be done as a member of parliament. So let's get that very clear. He participated and he was engaged in a parliamentary work because you represent your people. Now,
yet he was not part of the organizers.
That's what I'm saying, that it doesn't matter if you participate, whether he organized it or he was part of the organizers and he participated in it as a member of parliament. Perhaps if he wasn't a member of parliament for that area, maybe he would have been engaged in something else. But he had to participate in the demonstration because it was a justifiable cause. And like I said, demonstration is not something that is illegal. I mean, we have had people who have been engaged in all manner of demonstrations. Unfortunately, some group or some young men within the demonstration, you had thousands of people. You had few young men who went and, you know, mounted roadblocks, which is condemned by the MP himself. And he intervened for that thing to be taken off. How is that a crime?
He refused the invitation of the police, according to the
Well, there are proper
statement.
means by which you invite a member of parliament. And in fact, Article 117 and 118 says no court. And if I can read that. And having established that fact that his participation in that demonstration was an extension of his parliamentary work. He was participating in it as the representatives of the people. And the Constitution is very clear. If I can read specifically, I just want to read, you know, specifically what Article 117 says. Immunities from service of process and arrest. And they say that civil or criminal proceedings, civil or criminal processes coming from any court, they didn't say a particular, any court, including even the Supreme Court, any court or place out of parliament, be served on or executed in relation to the speaker or a member or clerk to parliament, whilst he is on his way to attending at or returning from any of parliament. And 118 says that neither the speaker nor a member of nor the clerk to parliament shall be compelled whilst attending parliament to appear as a witness in any court, or in fact the conclusion is that in any court or place out of parliament. I mean, the Constitution is very clear. Now, except that someone is going to tell me that participating in that demonstration as a member of parliament was not discharging his responsibility.
Would you advise the police to go to the Supreme Court to seek interpretation?
Well, I will come to that. I have listened to some of such explanations given. Now, we have a precedent. In fact, the former speaker indicated that if you wanted to take a statement of any member of parliament, you can do that in parliament. And we have evidences to that effect. Iyoko wanted to investigate, was investigating certain issues. The statements were taken in the office of the former speaker. Is it that this speaker, because he is not aligned with this government, is that the reason? Now, there is a precedent. So I'm saying that commending the IGP of his bravery and some of the things he does, he should be mindful of the Constitution. And I agree with you when you say that no one is above the law. No one is challenging that, including the IGP. So whatever you want to do, you must do that within the confines of law. What is so shocking in all this is the palpable lie told by the that man. You remember when they even invaded Parliament? He was the one who led the invasion. And I had some altercations with him when he came to Parliament.
Was he not the one who came to rather ask the soldiers?
No. He was, look, it was a military and police who invaded. He led the invasion of the police on that day. But I'm saying that you have a statement that is being issued without any shred. And I'm amazed that an officer would peddle such falsehood. And that falsehood found his way in an official statement issued by the police.
Which of the paragraphs are you referring to?
Read paragraph 5 and paragraph 6. I just want you to read paragraph 5 and paragraph 6.
It.
Paragraph 5 says that the story circulating that some police personnel had been dispatched to arrest the MP at a church today, Sunday, October 31st, 2021, are untrue. Why? When they arrived there, they called the pastor, the head pastor. When he came, they told him in plain language that they were there to arrest Sosu. And he told them he's preaching at the moment. Wait until
Sosu was preaching.
Yes, he was preaching. And the pastor said, look, he's preaching at the moment. Wait until he finishes with the preaching, then I can inform him. Now, how could he lie this way in a statement? And another one, look at what he also said here. Look at 6, paragraph 6. That any plainclothes police personnel found on the premises of the church may have been there for intelligence purposes and not to effect arrest. What a contradictory statement. In one breath, the idea that the police went there to arrest the gentleman was not true. Just the next paragraph, you say that any plain police officer who was there might have been there just to the term he used for further intelligence.
But nothing but the police from doing intelligence.
So if you go to gather intelligence, you go to the church and then you start calling the head pastor, telling him that you are coming to effect arrest. I mean, he should accord the good people of this country with some respect. But
for you as a member of parliament, are you scared?
About what?
That what has befallen Sosu could also befall you?
Well, maybe, Johnny, you should know me that well. As long as I stand for the truth and I speak truthfully, justifiably, if I fear Allah, I don't fear any human being. To be very honest with you, the only being that I fear on earth is Allah. As long as what I'm doing, I do that rightly and honestly, that serves the interests of humanity and the society, in this case Ghana. Why should I entertain any fear? But what we are simply saying is that Honorable Sosu is not above the law. No one is saying he's above the law. But the law itself, the Constitution itself, tells you the IGP and any police officer, when you want to effect an arrest or you want to invite a member of parliament, you know what you should do. Okay. So, but let me make this last point.
Quickly.
What shocked me is the interdiction of the police officer. I mean, how shameful.
The inspector.
I mean, how low could this police in this country sink? You have a police officer who was given to a member of parliament to ensure his protection, his security. There was demonstration, which unfortunately resulted to some kind of chaos. It is the responsibility of the police officer to ensure that the member of parliament is safe. And he will do anything possible to ensure that he ensures the safety of the member of parliament. Now, assuming, may God forbid, something happened to Honorable Sosu, that police would have been interdicted for not ensuring the protection and the safety of the member of parliament. If anything had happened, tell me what the crime of the police officer is. So the police officer should have allowed the gentleman to be killed or anything happened to him? Is that what the police are telling us? And in any case, that thing happened days before this embarrassing attempt to arrest Sosu. only for them to issue that statement at the same time. I mean, clearly, I think that, look, I wouldn't swallow my words. I commended this new police, IGP. For me, to be very honest, that is what we expect. But I think that he must operate within the ambit of law.
I hear you.
And I commended him because I felt that he should have been very courageous and confident in that. Why? Your time
is up. Your time is up. Thank you very much. Richard, step in for me. Is the IGP overstepping his boundaries as has been granted him by his official capacity?
Thank you very much, and let me say good morning to your viewers, and especially so my brother Mutala. It's been a while. Let me commend him too for the exercise he's doing, the extra classes for the students. I remember when we were in secondary school, we used to have those classes organized by our seniors who were in the universities
right.
then, through the Northern Youth Association. If I want to believe, probably that thing has skewed a bit, or is probably still not in existence. Like we said,
it's not as vibrant as it used to be.
We'll have further discussions on that. We need to get those things back, and not on the shoulders of one or two people, because it goes to enhance education in the North, and it's our collective responsibility in that direction. On this specific issue, number one, Honorable Sosu is a lawyer. Two, he's a member of parliament.
Right.
And he knows what the deal is. I've organized several demonstrations, and I've had occasion to be invited by the police to explain things that went awry. It's normal practice. And I want to assume that he's part of those who organize it. If he's not, at least he's the leader of that constituency. And as long as he took active participation, he is in a position to give some explanation to the police for what went on. I don't understand why this had to drag this much. What is the fear of Mr. Sosu in this? Is it a fear of culpability? Because for me, when you have nothing to fear, when you haven't done anything wrong, like my brother is saying, how brave and straight he is, why don't you go and tell your truth and let us get to the bottom of it?
But if you look at the story and how the police intended to arrest him at the demonstration grounds, and how his driver is alleged to have driven through the crowd dangerously, it gives cause for worry, does it not?
If the driver drove dangerously through the crowd, yes, obviously that is a cause for worry. The driver, for instance, should be answering some questions. But
the police also tried to pick Sosu, like
at this point, I'm not holding brief for either the police or Mr. Sosu.
Right.
What I'm saying is that something happened that we all agree shouldn't have happened.
That's right.
He is a leader of that community. He was actively participating. Look, all the parliamentary privileges aside, I'm saying that if he has nothing to hide, he could actually have that interaction with the police and tell them that, look, A, B, C, D happened. This is my role. In actual fact, my role was to prevent what happened. And if I wasn't there, the consequences could have been dire. Then all this rigmarole around this matter would probably not exist. But I'm also wondering, are the rules governing Parliament, the laws governing Parliament, saying that as long as Parliament is in session, a member of Parliament cannot be questioned or arrested? Because I think our honorable MPs are stretching this argument or to or from Parliament. It seems once Parliament is in session, you have a free ball, you can do whatever you want with it. And so there's a demonstration, and because he's a member of Parliament and he's participating in it, it's a parliamentary duty.
Representational.
Yes. So he's immune from being questioned because he was doing his parliamentary work at the said time the incident happened. And my question is, when does it stop? Okay, we've had several such cases where this law in the end is the reason why a case is either stopped or bogged down or one way or the other not proceeding. I think there is a need for a constitutional interpretation of this matter, so that it will serve as a guide for all of us going forward. The MPs, the public would know. Because it's right, if I get it right, if an MP is on his way from his house, okay, to Parliament, and he hits an innocent bystander down, because he's on his way to Parliament, he cannot be arrested. Or if he's from Parliament going home, because he's from Parliament going home and then an incident occurs, a crime occurs, he cannot be questioned. I think we are overstretching it. But instead of leaving it to us, I did rather the Supreme Court, somebody, probably the police service or an interested party,
for interpretation,
goes to the Supreme Court for an interpretation to put finality to this.
Is it your view that the IGP is overstepping his boundaries in terms of what Murtala says? He's just trying to prove a point that he can arrest a member of Parliament because we put him behind bars.
Are members of Parliament beyond the law? Are they not arrestable? Can they be prosecuted? Is this the first time such an incident has occurred where the police are seeking to arrest a member of Parliament? No. Okay, so it's a gray area, because anytime that incident occurs, the possibility of arresting a member of Parliament, the argument automatically comes in that he's working. He was from Parliament or he was going to Parliament. And so in between, if the man was sitting at a drinking bar with a girlfriend and then an altercation happens, either he was on his way to Parliament or he closed from Parliament and sat there. So one way or the other, the law is not able to deal with him. And I'm asking that constitutionally, legally, is that the interpretation? So we need help.
What do you say to those who are suggesting that perhaps the IGP is doing the bidding of interested parties within the government who are not happy that people are beginning to speak up and say, fix my road, because that's the crux of the demonstration? And that's so they are using state authorities to try to shut them down. What do you say to that?
Johnny, let's give people some due, some credibility. When the IGP started, everybody was like, why is he in an acting position? Why is he in an acting position? I remember I sat here and I said that, look, for me, it's better for the person to prove themselves before you confirm them, because the previous IGPs, most of them, have been outrightly lazy and lack ideas and leadership, and have done nothing to further our security as a people. So if the president was taking 6 months, 7 months to monitor the man's performance to confirm him, I'm all for it. But the rate at which he is going, I am confident the president will confirm him. I said that on this.
That's right.
Yes.
On a Saturday morning.
It's come to pass. The issue is that the man has started and he's doing a lot, and all of us are happy with it. For once, let's take out these political innuendos and insinuations from it. He's an adult. When he arrested a pastor in this country, you had both sides of the political divide bashing him. And you had both sides praising him. Must everything in this country be reduced to NDC and PP? And so far, he has at least shown to all of us that he means business. Okay? So for me, let's take out that aspect. I've asked a lot of questions. So are we saying that under normal circumstances, the IGP should let the matter go? Then when I lead a demonstration and there's destruction of public property, I wouldn't be called, or if I get called, what will that mean for the Medina one that went unanswered? A precedent would have been set where the leadership are not answerable to any authority when there is distraction. So for me, the difference here is the fact that he is a member of parliament.
Okay.
And there are certain rules and privileges that go with that office. But over the years, some of us think that those privileges have been overstretched. And that is why
you're calling
we
for
need an interpretation.
Okay.
But the IGP is doing his job, and I think that we should let him be.
I hear you. So now, Muta, I know you have rebuttals, but let me place this question first. I've seen some people who are tilted towards your political party seeking to suggest that this is a diversionary tactics by being employed either by people in government in line with the security because of the issues that had come earlier regarding a certain lady who had splashed photos all over, suggesting that there's a deliberate attempt to put this in the news and put it at the foreburner so that that issue dies. I'm wondering why anybody would think in that direction, because the questions Richard has asked, the questions you have asked, are very cogent questions regarding the interpretation of that right and privilege granted to members of parliament. Why do we want to leave that and focus on other things?
Well, Johnny, I personally, if you observe me, I don't care what anybody does in his bedroom with whoever. That's not my business. And when it comes to such issues, I don't want to get into them because it's their business. But am I worried? My worry about those stories has to do with this attempted, or a stage robbery, for me, in which Hobson Odoi's name was mentioned. The IGP should be interested in the people using state apparatus to stage a robbery, because those are serious allegations. Unfortunately, the IGP was not interested in matters that border on the sanctity, the civility, the decency of our security apparatus in this country. But as to what he did with the president, what they did, that's their business. My only concern is the fact that the president was so exposed that someone can sit in flies and take those pictures. I don't want to get... my interest in that particular story has to do with the allegation of stage robbery using, our resources, our taxpayers' money. And so there could be some justification why people would think that it's an attempt to sway the interests of the people of this country in this matter. But my brother raised certain issues. He asked a question, what the fear of Honorable Sosu was and still is. There isn't any fear. Honorable Sosu simply says that do the right thing. I think that the police of Honorable Sosu should be awarded. I mean, if you have a police force, an IGP who is not influenced by some
it's not a force.
Sorry,
thank you.
It's the military which is a force. Thank
you.
The
moment we start calling them force, then it gets into their head and they want to add brute force.
Thank you, the son of a military officer. I understand. Just recently, we've seen what happened in Kumasi, where a police officer who arrested or attempted to arrest a military officer who was a mufti riding a motorbike without a number. The military went to the police. We saw the video.
Swami
and beat people. No, but look at the statement that was jointly issued by the military and the police. Beat the police officers there to pulp and free the person. Dampari is not interested in that outright disregard to the sanctity of the very service that he's leading. And these are the reasons why people would ask questions. So, my brother, Honorable Sosu is not scared of anything.
Then he should honor the invitation.
No, but do the right thing. You see, when he also went ahead to talk about the fact that the idea of these parliamentary immunities are overstretched. I can understand why this argument is made today. When you guys lose power in 2024, inshallah, the language will be different. You go through history and observe the positions of these political parties anytime they're in power and opposition in the matter of this right. The NDC, of course, and I would admit that we would always argue that, look, these immunities ought to be respected. You would argue otherwise. I listened to Isin Kuma this morning. He also challenged the same argument. You should go to the Supreme Court, go to the Supreme Court. We can go to the Supreme Court, go have the Supreme Court interpret and demand that, look, members of parliament should be exposed. They shouldn't have those immunities. Even the Supreme Court judges have some immunities. But in any case, if you are so concerned about this, go and read the Vienna Convention of Diplomatic Relations in 1961. Come and read the same Vienna Convention of Consular Relations in 1963. Those immunities are provided. If you have a member who is having full immunities, even kill somebody, you can arrest the person because they are meant to ensure some sanctity and sanity. That is the reason. It isn't that members of parliament want to be protected. That is far from the case. Now, in parliament, how come that in parliament, whatever you say in parliament cannot be used to prosecute you by any court? If you read,
it's qualified privilege.
No, you see,
absolute privilege.
And there are reasons. If you read the article 117 and 118, it is not saying that members of parliament cannot be prosecuted. That's not what these two articles are saying. The articles are simply saying that if you want to serve or invite them, there are processes by which you do that. You cannot do that when they are going to parliament or on their way to parliament.
But then another person would also say that if, for example, I commit a crime against the state on Richard, I assault Richard, for example, and you're waiting for a letter to be written for the express permission of the speaker to be sought before a member of parliament is picked up. By the time you come back, evidence would have been gone. It would have been like the Kupi GHS sodomy thing.
No, a crime that is committed doesn't preclude the security agencies from going in to start the investigation. For example, if a murder is committed, allegedly committed by a member of parliament, they can still go ahead and have their investigation. What we are simply saying is that if you want to take the statement of the member of parliament, you can do so. And that's why I made reference to Professor Makokwe, where he insisted that if you want to take statements of members of parliament, come to parliament and do that. The reason is that you have to have some immunities. Assuming any statement anybody makes in parliament is such a statement could be used to prosecute such member of parliament, you'll be shocked the kind of democracy and the country will be living.
But that also applies to the courts.
No,
you cannot hold a judge for what he says in court. Because those privileges
So why
are there.
is it that they are not talking? So this argument and saying, oh, the Supreme Court should interpret it, nobody is afraid of that. But you see, when the tables change, the narrative will also change. And that is the sad aspects of our politics.
Okay.
There must be self-protection. To conclude on this matter, assuming that we want to strike that argument, no one is above the laws, including the president. That's what the law says. The president must not move with security. If the president wants to move with security, the ordinary citizen also wants to have security. Is that the kind of country we want to? We are simply saying that if you want to invite a member of parliament, you do that within the ambit of law. You do that mindful of Article 117 and 118. Now, what is good for the goose should be good for the gander. What is even serious, more serious than what happened at Medina, is the attack of the police station in Swami by military, beat the police officers there and freed a military man who was in Mufti and who broke the law. That is even more serious. Yet Dr. Dampari of highly praise is not interested in that. He's rather interested in holding this.
Richard, take your second bite. Mutala is raising things that must engage the IGP's mind.
I see your mischief in trying to
there's no mischief.
And introduce.
There's no mischief. I'm raising a question. I'm saying I've seen elements of his party.
Social media gossip, rumors into mainstream media. It is your cup of tea, but I won't get bogged down by that. You know something?
So don't speak about it because you are giving it to
my brother is referring to Vienna conventions and all
1961-63.
They don't relate to this particular experience. And I want to explain to listeners why we have this Article 111. It relates to our experience in under military coups, okay, and how MPs were all bundled up even on the floors of Parliament and others on their way and all those things. So,
please.
Oh, we had when the military was taking over.
I saw the Parliament seized.
No, I am saying, but yes, the fact that they went arresting them, okay, is what has informed this law.
But when you seize power, the arms of government ceases to exist.
Yes, but I'm saying that the processes leading to the seizure, because if you can simply arrest all of them, then you have succeeded.
You don't need to arrest.
Allow me, please. So, Richard, the thing
I'm
is,
saying that
the thinking that article could be, that clause could be there.
The thinking
but
is
touch would impede the thought. If a coup happens now, that constitution will be suspended.
No, you're not getting the point I'm making.
What's
I'm saying
the point?
that it makes it easier for the constitution to be overthrown.
Okay.
When the police can easily move in and arrest people this way.
Okay.
You understand that? So, in the minds of the framers, this is to help make it even more difficult to make a coup. But the issue is neither here nor there. The gentleman has been accused of A, B, C, D. The police went in to arrest him. Is that the first time it's ever happened? No. He's referring to Swami. Is that the first time it's ever happened? No. So why will we use the Swami one to virtually throw dust on the IGP?
But if you read the police statement, they say it was an investigation.
Listen,
Mr. Sosu is also alleging that they came in their numbers trying to pick him up. That doesn't look like an invitation.
Whichever way it is, I'm saying that it is not for you and me to sit on this platform and pass judgment and say this X or Y is guilty. That is why, yes.
That's not what we're doing. I'm saying that the police should be clear in their minds whether they invited him or attempted to arrest him at the demonstration. Because the police statement says they invited him and he refused the invitation.
Yes.
But if you watch the videos, how the young people there resisted, and in fact, one of the chiefs, I think the youth chief or so of the area, was arrested when they didn't succeed in getting Sosu.
So the question
that doesn't look like an invitation.
How are invitations made?
Richard, no.
You have 6-8 policemen coming.
I'm asking you, how are invitations made?
In the courteous manner.
How? Give me an example.
Oh, Richard, I'm inviting you for lunch.
Do you have to be physically present to tell me, Richard, I'm inviting you for lunch?
So 8 people to pick Sosu?
No. I'm saying that.
I wonder how many they will send to go and pick and report it.
You're not getting the point. Was there an invitation?
I don't know. That's what they are saying. The man says they came at him.
Yeah. So why will you believe the Sosu and not the police?
I saw videos that said contrary.
In the video, did you see them arresting Sosu?
They wanted to.
No, did you see them arresting Sosu in the video?
No, but
I'm asking a simple question. Did you see them arresting Sosu in the video?
What could have informed the driver, the inspector speeding off?
Which inspector?
The inspector who's now being interdicted. What could have informed that? Him speeding off.
How am I supposed to...
exactly. So I can't answer your question.
That is the point. You are sitting here saying that the police went
asking questions.
Look, if there was an attempted arrest, I would want to see Sosu in it and he resisting arrest or he running away and then the police pursuing him. Then you can tell me that there was an attempted arrest and then he escaped. If they called him and he refused to attend to the call, and then they went there and arrested some other people there, how does that amount to arresting Sosu and he resisting arrest and all this fallout? I'm saying that you cannot.
If you listen to the chronology of the narrative that Mr. Sosu gave in Parliament,
yes,
the narrative.
So you believe Mr. Sosu, you don't believe the police. That is fine.
But you know, if you tell lies in Parliament, that's perjury.
Yes.
That's perjury. It has consequences. He's a lawyer.
And haven't people lied in Parliament?
Well,
haven't people lied in Parliament?
Who?
Under oath?
Who?
Pleplease,
let's get off it. Who lied in Parliament under oath?
Let's get off it.
Who lied in Parliament under oath?
Let's get off it. We are talking about Mr. Sosu. We are talking about.
But you are making reference.
And I am making the point that did you see any arrests or the police pursuing Mr. Sosu at any point in time that you are referring to?
The man who is at the center of the thing says, this was what happened to me. He said it in Parliament.
And
why are you
I'm
doubtful?
saying that.
Why
what makes you think that what he is saying is true and what the police are saying is not true?
So you lying. Richie, can I ask you a question?
I'm simply saying that Mr. Sosu, if he has nothing to hide, can actually answer the invitation of the police. Answer their questions.
Okay.
Settle
Richard,
this matter.
Richard,
if he has nothing to hide, why is he
Richard, can I ask
running?
you a question?
I hear
Secondly, no, you are not the host, unfortunately.
Let him wrap up.
Secondly, there is too much of a grey area. The Vienna Convention he's referring to, we are talking about diplomatic immunities.
Get me very clear. I was not saying.
We're talking about diplomatic.
Hold
We're
on,
talking about diplomatic
please,
immunities.
please, don't mislead the public.
If a minister of state, hits somebody or misbehaves, he has no immunity.
Please don't mislead the public.
Is that not the case?
Please, Richard.
A minister of state under this constitution, can a minister of state misbehave and get away with it?
Don't mislead.
Okay, let's take
so
some
what are we
messages.
talking-
Please
what
note
are
it
we
down
talking
in your
about?
closing thoughts.
What
Let's
are we talking
let's
about?
take some messages
When
now.
How am I misleading them? You
I'm
refer to the Vienna Convention. I'm saying that the Vienna Convention has nothing to do with our internal privileges.
When I made reference to
granted,
when I made reference to Vienna Convention of Diplomatic Relations and Cultural, I was making reference to that is that internationally there are always certain immunities that are given to certain individuals. So I was not saying that it is applicable in Ghana. Don't mislead the public.
No, so what is the need for the Vienna Convention?
No, I was saying that not even in Ghana, internationally, there are always, even in our constitution, the president after leaving office cannot be prosecuted within a particular time.
I even have a program with this
let's take some messages. Cookie,
privileges thing
let's
you
not-
have.
let's not-
Because in the UK,
let's not keep
an
the lady
MP
waiting.
can be arrested.
Let's not
In
keep-
the US,
let's not
a
keep the lady
congressman
waiting.
can be arrested.
Richard, you're a gentleman. Let's not keep the lady waiting, please. Let's not keep the lady
Why are you
waiting.
giving them?
Thank you, gentlemen.
And he.
Johnny, can I go? AU Farouk from Tamale says, good morning to you, Johnny and Honorable Mutala. Indeed, the IGP must stand on his feet and not allow the political class to dictate to him what to do in an unlawful manner. The government is overusing its powers. Johnny, I am a constituency executive of Medina, and we regret the actions of the uniformed security guys. The roads in the constituency, that is Teman, Damfa, Otinibi, and all are death traps. So what is wrong with the MP joining the demonstration? The only language this government understands is demo. We are tired and they should stop intimidating us. The interdiction of the police bodyguard of the MP is uncalled for. Look, Ghana isn't only today. Aram from Adenta news site sent in that one. Now this one says, so government is not interested in the bad roads anymore, rather the arrest of the MP at all costs. What a country. Joe from Tema sent in that one. Good morning, Johnny Hughes. You made me weep this morning on the disability issue. God bless you for the good work you're doing to save Ghanaians, especially the underprivileged. Emmanuel Okanse sent in that one. Bravo, Johnny. This is excellent. It's my first time watching Johnny's Bite, and it's right on point. Keep it up. Francis from Ashaiman sent in that one. Johnny's Bites, you are doing a good work, but you have to be careful. People now do not want the truth. I'll probably read the last one. That says, it's a bright new day. In fact, the persistent attempt by the police to arrest the Medina MP is worrying. But I must say that the sudden drift of this topic of discussion to Sawa Broni saga is way below the belt on my favorite TV screen. Richie from Adenta sent in that one. Johnny, please take it over.
Thank you very much. Let's wrap up. Comrade, I'll start with you, and then Richard will have the final take on this.
In fact, we were coming thinking that we would have several issues we discuss, i.e. the expectant of the hopeless budget that we will be presented
tomorrow. We'll discuss
very
that.
Hopeless. But let me say this, Johnny. Nobody is saying that Sosu is beyond arrest. Nobody is saying that any member of parliament is beyond arrest. If you take the 1992 constitution itself, there are some immunities that are given to certain individuals. In this case, including His Excellency the President and some of the ministers. So don't say that them, in his last statement, he said them. We are now being referred
Which ministers are given immunity?
I'm saying that some immunities are given to the executive.
To which minister?
If a minister of state discharges a responsibility by the president, that minister cannot be culpable if there is any mishap in
So
that.
why do we
I'm
have
saying-
causing financial loss to the
Oh,
state?
I'm coming.
Wait,
No,
wait,
you
wait,
are
wait,
miseducating the
It's my
public.
We just have 2 minutes, so let's share it 1 minute. 1 minute each, and-
So I'm saying that the president has some immunities. In fact, there are certain cases you can't even prosecute.
What is his immunity?
Hold on. Why? You don't know?
What is the president's immunity?
The
I want you to state
the
it.
president cannot be prosecuted after he left office within a particular period of time, no matter what the crime is. Is the president?
Indemnity clause.
Yes, is the president
How
above
many?
the law?
How long is
It
that?
doesn't matter whether a day or 2 days. I am saying that it
How
does-
long is that?
Hold on, it doesn't matter. The member of parliament too, those immunities are enjoyed as he's a member of parliament. When he leaves parliament, he doesn't enjoy the immunity. So I'm saying that to argue that it is overstretched, those immunities are just too much, then we must as well take off every immunity in the
I hear you.
constitution that is granted to any member of government.
Johnny, I just started citing other countries we are learning our constitutional democracy from.
We are not
And I'm
learning
saying
from
that
them.
they have no such immunities. If you go and commit a crime, Parliament does not shield you, doesn't clothe you. Okay? So that if you are on the floor of Parliament or you are within the precincts of Parliament,
Right.
you should have your
that is not
protection,
even
just
true.
like
You cannot,
just like
you
you
cannot
have
discuss the
in
Queen
court,
in the Parliament of,
in the court.
of United Kingdom.
When you
Do
leave,
you know that?
when you leave the court, is the Queen
Johnny,
an MP? Please.
No, you can't. The Queen is above the law. In fact, you can't discuss Bank of England.
Thank you.
You can't even discuss Bank
Thank
of
you very
England
much.
in the Parliament of United
You said
Kingdom.
1 minute. Then he comes in interdicting.
No, because you said that.
Oh, please.
There,
The
you
point
can't
I
discuss
am
the
making
Queen.
is
Is the
this.
Queen above the law?
They, the MPs, when they come to going to and what, it should be on the floor of Parliament. Beyond that,
I hear you.
it shouldn't be given
I hear you.
any
So if
such.
they have
When you
committee
refuse to
sittings
participate,
elsewhere,
we should-
it will not come.
Yeah.
No, what-
Anyway, good morning.
You are not sitting in the committee. Is that part of
Are you
it?
Happy
serious?
birthday to Charles Annan of the Customs KIA. It's your birthday today. Also belated one to Edmond Nana Ado Newman. It was your birthday yesterday. Also to you, Mrs. Salome Norte of the ICGC Joy Temple at Shalebotre. This from Kelly, Nelly, Deborah, Sefa, and Chris at the courtyard. Happy birthday to you. Somebody says, well, I hope Chris Shalboche says, I hope the IGP did not give us a false hope when he was hailed as the best ever and his name is being chanted on the lips of ordinary Ghanaians and big men in the society. I said it was too early to start praising an athlete who has not yet crossed the finishing line. Now it's crystal clear. All the Rambo style arrests were just a rehearsal to get their political opponents. That's what he thinks. Now remember to buy your Camel antiseptic liquid and support the Camel Because We Care initiative with only 10 Ghana pesos to help a child with cancer. Give 10 pesos, give hope. This initiative is proudly supported by the 3 Foundation, the CSR wing of Media General. And I understand that the traffic from Pukwasi interchange to Joy Jonte is so thick. I'm wondering what's happening there because we had invested so much money to do that interchange. But thanks to Grandpa Clothing in Dansoman, 0209855696. Grandpa so's everything. The sports and more after this break. Don't go away.